As they come to the start-finish line, the Overton 300 is underway.
You see what we're talking about with this racetrack. So many different grooves already trying to get 3 wide. That outside is just as strong as the bottom. Even stronger a little bit. Here's the 9 car takes the lead down the back straightaway.
That's a lot like the truck race where that outside line carried the momentum and worked for the 9 of Tyler Reddick, who now easily commands the race.
Still side-by-side battle for that second spot. Almost a little bumping there as Suarez and Cindric fighting for the position. Sideways was the 12. Cindric able to catch it, though.
And he's going to be in the middle of 3 wide. They're going to try to use that loss of momentum. You see Kaz Gralla at the bottom of the racetrack with trouble.
And guys, actually what's happened there is the ignition right now. He's got no power inside that race car. Actually said ignition wire might be smoldering inside that car, so they've got some sort of electric issue in the 61. Tough break.
Moving up on the inside, the 22 of Paul Menard. Trying to get as much use out of the Goodyears early on as you can because they wear out quickly. Brandon Jones on the high side also moving up as well. Suarez in the 18.
Daniel started 4th on the outside. That's definitely going to be the preferred line on most of the restarts today. He's trying to take that 3rd position, not successful there. See Harvick already coming through the field, man. Started 13th, so he's on the inside line, the non-preferred line, and he's already made up so many spots. He's concerned about his speed in practice because he really wasn't ever near the top of the board, but he's showing right now he's going to be one to deal with.
Well, this is the advantage of someone like Harvick who practices on the bottom of the racetrack. While it may not be the preferred speed for lap time, you see how he's able to complete that pass. Running the bottom as the 2 is going to try to pin him down while the 2 washes up. That allows the 98 of Harvick to have a clear exit off the corner.
Kevin Harvick only runs a handful of these Xfinity races, so why choose Chicagoland to be among one of them? Well, he said Friday, I don't normally run racetracks on Saturday unless I enjoy them. And when I talked to his crew chief, Richard Boswell, about it, he said, I think he'll race anywhere where it can help him improve on Sunday, even if these cars are completely different. When he shows up for cup practice, he's already got 60 laps around this track. He already knows the nuances, the bumps, and how to work around them. So he is trying to use this as an advantage for come tomorrow's race.
Reddick's pulling away from him as well. Reddick now with a 1.2-second lead. Junior.
All right, let's take a look inside the 7 car, see where this temperature is. Right there. What does that even say? It says H and I. Hi. H and I.
I think it might have broke. It's so hot.
The temperature gauge said, I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. I'm done.
That's it. I'm
it's
out.
Like not even registering this temperature.
It's thankful that they didn't put that somewhere that Allgaier could see it. At least they kind of hit it over to the side.
Pit road closed because Tyler Reddick went across the start-finish line with 2 laps to go. That's when they closed pit road before the end of the stage. And now with 1 lap to go, history could be made here. Tyler Reddick has never won a stage in the Xfinity Series. Amazingly, he's won a race at one of the biggest racetracks in the world, Daytona, but he hasn't won a stage until potentially now as he closes in on one of the lap cars. But a big run here for the most popular driver in 2016 when he was running in the Camping World Truck Series. Tyler Reddick will come out of turn 4, and for the first time he will see the green and white checkered flag. How about Christopher Bell making the move up to 2nd as well. Harvick finishing 3rd. Hemrick giving Bell a little bit of a shove, and that means that Bell will get out front now. Can Harvick battle back on the outside?
That has become such an art in this series as well as the truck. Oh, Reddick in almost trouble. Good job of saving it. That's one thing he's got to do. He cannot panic. He has such a good car. He's going to have to take his time getting back up to the front.
Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, and it's Daniel Hemrick, 1, 2, 3. Those 3 have separated themselves. Good battle for 4th, though. Side by side, Larson trying to get by Suarez.
3 wide. That's touchy. Brandon Jones in the middle. That's very difficult. You can see how much momentum he lost. Allgaier makes a move. Brandon was just stuck in the middle. There's no air on your car, and just simply slowed down because he couldn't have enough grip.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler was on the outside in the 1 there, and he had to back off, so he drops back behind. Matt Tifft in the 2 with the gallon of ice that was put into his suit. We'll see if that cools him off a little bit, maybe brings him to the front. I can't imagine, as hot as it is, Tyler Reddick and the problems that they had on pit road, that he can't be absolutely steaming right now because of all the work that he did to get up front and now running 14. The gap between race leader Christopher Bell in the 20 and the 98 of Kevin Harvick, that gap now gone.
Well, watch this 98 car. He's using the top of the racetrack, and if he can just break even with Bell through the corner, he just is so much faster down the straightaway because running that outside lane keeps your momentum up. So look at what happens on the straightaway. Now what's Harvick going to do with him? Is he going to try to jump on the inside of him or keep working that outside? He goes try to go make the bottom work.
As these guys are racing side by side, you get the 42 car behind him, and he could get in this picture really quickly. As we see, Larson, he's running right on the fence. Down to Marty.
And Junior, Christopher Bell told me before the race, I love this track because there's options. Any track there are options I love, and he is trying to run the bottom, he's trying to run the top, trying to do everything he can to keep the 98 behind him. But one key thing, he has Tony Hirschman, Kyle Busch's spotter, telling him, hey, try the low line this time, try the high line this time, anything to keep that lead, but it's tightening up every lap, Rick.
Yeah, this is interesting, not only with the Kevin Harvick factor in here, running second, but you see Kyle Larson moving up there. Christopher Bell really has followed in Kyle Larson's footsteps as far as dirt racing, sprints, things like that to get his career going after he won the Truck Series championship a year ago. Christopher Bell trying to do what William Byron had done and win the Xfinity Series championship in his rookie season. So Christopher Bell is doing some amazing things at a very young age, only 23 years old.
So impressive. Christopher's stayed dedicated to the bottom. These guys are hounding him a little bit, running a higher line, and he hasn't gave up on running the bottom, and that's a tough situation to know when to make that change, especially when guys are right up behind you. If you go to the top and it doesn't work and you're not fast, you could give the position up easily. He doesn't want to do that. He knows he can't afford to let the Cup guys take the lead because they won't give it up. He's pretty much giving the race away right then and there. So I'm impressed by his dedication to stay on the bottom, make these guys try to figure out a way to get around him.
Yeah, Junior, what's made it more difficult for Harvick right now is Larson has caught them. So now Harvick has to protect a little bit. He tried to get around the bottom. It didn't work. Now Larson's going to fill that gap. So before Larson got there, he could go wherever he wanted to go. But now Larson's there. Now he's going to pay a price. It's going to be 3 wide off of 4.
3 wide for the lead, and right on by goes Kyle Larson on the high side. What a momentum move for Kyle Larson. He steals the race lead away from Kevin Harvick, who looked like he was going to take it away from Christopher Bell there. Larson, when he made that pass, we talked about how amazing it looked, like he was just shot out of a cannon going by those guys. Well, he didn't slow down after that. He's got a 4-second lead over second place Kevin Harvick right now. Is Kyle Larson, he's only got 5 laps to go, but is he running his tires too hard right now?
I think right now he could back off a little bit, but maybe he is. Maybe he's that much faster than the rest of the field. Let's listen to what the 42 has to say.
Tight on the bottom, a little free up top. Yeah, my entry's tightened up as I've entered harder. Up top, I'd say my balance is pretty good. A little tighter on the bottom. Still ran a 33.16 when you ran the bottom of 3-4 that last lap.
Well, I think what's amazing is not only is he giving good feedback, but he's just calm, running right against the wall. He sounds like he's sitting next to us, Dale. Just, hey, my car's a little tight. I need a little this. You know, very good feedback for his crew chief, but his calm demeanor is what shocks me running right up against the fence.
Yeah, running that fence, he's got so much experience doing it. So he knows what he's doing. He's not a guy that you're worried about getting his car tore up and you're right siding it in the fence all race long. Down to Marty.
And Junior, I don't know if I had a free race car if I would want to run the high line like Kyle Larson is, though. But he says when he's in that high line, he's a little bit freer. But we've seen him run the bottom here today. We've seen him run the top. We've kind of seen him all over the racetrack to be able to get from the back to the front here this afternoon. But Junior, he said a couple of weeks ago, I feel like I used to have to run the top. Now I don't feel like I need to. I can run the bottom when I want to or the top. So now he has options because they've made their cars better at Ganassi. Maybe you can explain that a little bit more about how that affects the driver.
Yeah, I mean, you run the top because there's more speed up there. You don't want to. You don't have to. You see watching this race, Harvick and those guys still running on the bottom. That's where you prefer to be, but you go up top to find speed. Well, he had to go up there last year, a lot of the season, to try to improve his car and give himself the best opportunity to run up front. And so he was up there out of necessity a lot of times last year. So this year he feels like he doesn't have to run up there as much.
Well, in the 9, Tyler Reddick, the stage 1 winner, went all the way back to 14th with a bad pit stop and wasn't making much ground, but over the last 10 laps, he has been the fastest car on the racetrack. Rick, he's got himself all the way back to 7th, half those positions back. Now they're looking for a smooth pit stop here with stage 2 coming to a close.
Yeah, and you got to be a little hesitant because the last time you were on pit road, they had the mistake, and that's what put him back to 14th after winning that stage. So maybe a little apprehension. Nothing for the 42 of Kyle Larson as he comes out of turn 4. And Larson, the last time he was in the Xfinity Series, won at Las Vegas. Well, he's going to win stage 2 here at Chicagoland.
Told you to watch Justin Allgaier on that restart. Not a great restart. He's going to be 4 wide, it looks like, going down into turn 1. Chase Elliott jumped to his outside.
But I think he's going to make it back right here. It gets a good turns 1 and 2. You see that red number 7 back about 4 rows. Carries that momentum. I had him starting 9th. He really started 8th on the outside, as you mentioned.
Quit bragging on him, because that wasn't the restart I was hoping for. He's going to hold his own here.
Cole Custer, a great restart, though, in the 0-0 up to 3rd.
Yeah, I called Cole Custer and Christopher Bell to get up here and give these cut guys a run for their money.
Brandon Jones on the bottom. Justin Allgaier having a good run up in 8th place.
They're the 2 you just mentioned, Junior, Cole Custer and Christopher Bell.
Yeah, these guys had good cars all weekend, so this ain't no surprise to see them up here. Just
the 3 around, and Ryan Reed into him, as well as Tyler Reddick.
That's frustrating. Tyler speeding on pit road puts you in that situation where if there's accidents,
We got for damage, Earl.
you're going to find yourself getting in them sometimes.
A lot. You heard the answer. The 3 of Jeb Burton was sideways. Ryan Reed was just behind him, got into the side of him.
I did exactly what I'm supposed to do. So.
There's the damage to the 3 of Burton.
Such disappointment for Tyler and Jeb. Jeb only has 3 races this year, and this is the 3rd one.
Briscoe's on these old tires, man. He's going to move high here. Good, smart move.
Briscoe didn't come to pit road. He stayed out. He was running way back in 16th, and he goes way high to let everyone by.
20 cars in the lead lap, so obviously his strategy is try to stay in the lead lap and catch a caution. He'll have a set of tires on everybody.
Close call there. Christopher Bell moving down just a bit as Larson was trying to get by. Here comes Cole Custer now in the 0-0. Kevin Harvick out front. Kyle Larson running 2nd. Christopher Bell, Cole Custer 3rd and 4th. Still out front, Kevin Harvick. Larson has closed the gap now to under 0.6 of a second. Larson running that high line, and Kevin Harvick down at the bottom of the racetrack still.
And Kevin the lap before had to pass a lap car in the middle of the racetrack in 3 and 4, and he ran a 33.19. Well, this time he went back to the bottom and ran a 33 flat. So that tells me that maybe Kevin Harvick's car is not as good up on the top of the racetrack, and he's going to try to stick to the bottom. But here you see that 42 is coming. He's going to have to change his line and try to do something different, Junior, if he wants to keep him behind him.
Yeah, he's got to. The man that knows the top is coming. He's flying around the top right now. Harvick didn't get that big lead that we were hoping that he wouldn't get, that I was hoping he wouldn't get. So we would see this right here, battle for the lead. Larson to the top. Be interested to see if Harvick decides to try the top once Larson does get clear of the lead.
Well, it's just what we saw before. This is 21 laps on the tires. So once again, Kyle Larson shows Jeff 20 laps, and his car has come in.
Kyle Larson coming up on 1 lap to go. One more time around for Kyle Larson, the 25-year-old who 20 years ago, when he was 5 years old, sat down and did an interview, and he told his mom and dad, he said, "I like to start in the back." And they said, "Well, why? Why would you like to start in the back?" He said, "Because I get to pass more people." Well, that happened today for him because they had to change the right front tire. It had gone down after qualifying. He had to start in the back of the field. He went from the back to the front in dominating fashion. And Kyle Larson, will come out and win at Chicagoland.
It's just an Xfinity race. Imagine what these guys got to go through tomorrow. More miles, more heat.
Let's go to Marty.
Kyle Larson, a lot of sweat. There's a towel and cold water for you, Kyle. And I got to ask you, if I'd have told you yesterday afternoon after how bad this car was, you told me it was bad. How bad it was, would you have thought this was possible to be such a dominant car today?
You know, there's always hope with this team. You know, there's been a lot of times I feel like where I'm not good in practice, and then Shiplett and Davin and all the guys make it a lot better for the race. So hats off to them. Thank all you fans for coming out. I know it's super hot out. It's extremely hot in the car, so thanks for bringing some water. But yeah, great Ineos Chevy. You know, this is Ineos's, I guess you can call it home track. They're a Japanese company, but they are here in Chicago. So nice to have all them here, and glad to finally get them win here in Chicago.
Was this among the most difficult conditions you've ever faced in a race car? We saw Justin Allgaier's car over 150 degrees at times inside the race car for him.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty dehydrated right now, but adrenaline's kicking in. So just can't say enough about this race car. You know, we were really bad yesterday, so it's cool to get a win.